Imagine you loan somebody a big sum of money. Best friend, never gonna get it back. Except for this time. I have a customer, loaned a buddy a big sum of money, ready to collect his debt. Lucky son of a bitch, got a 1969 SS Chevelle. Here's what we're gonna do to it. By the way, I'm Michelle, and this is Acclaim Car and Truck Repair, where we work on classics and antiques and bring them back to life. Now, when you're lucky enough to get a Chevelle as a repayment for a loan, there's a lot of things that come with it. This guy who got this car back, it sat in a barn for quite a while. He decided he wanted to tinker with it, restore the car on his own, and realized he got in over his head. The reason he got in over his head is because this car comes with a Muncie 4-speed transmission. Now, these transmissions are common, but they're complicated. He realized that it got stuck in reverse. Didn't know how to get it undone. Now we need a master transmission tech to figure that out. We got her up on the lift. He got underneath it, got it to where we could get it out of reverse, and went for a test drive. After the test drive, we realized that there's more to it than just the transmission. She needs some TLC, some love. She's got the wrong oil in it. Suspension's getting pretty loose. This is where we're gonna go from here. Now, underneath the car is a Muncie 4-speed transmission. That transmission is leaking like a sieve. You got a front seal, you got a rear seal, you got all the components in between. We wanna pull that transmission, take it apart, give her some love, reseal her. In the meantime, while we do that, we wanna take that Muncie shift kit in there and we wanna upgrade it to a Hirsch. I wanna show you guys the shift kit that's inside so you get an idea of what we're changing. So this guy had quite a bit of knowledge of these classic vehicles. He got us a bit of a head start in taking off the plate of the shifter so that we could get a really good look at what's going on inside. As you can see right now, this shifter is quite loose and needs some love. No matter how much we tighten it, no matter how much we put into it, it's never gonna be quite right. So we've done our research and we see that there is a Hirsch shift kit for these Muncies. And we wanna go ahead and put it in so that it tightens up the shifter and he can actually feel the car shift. The Chevelle's running, the Muncie's in. The guys worked hard to get it done in a timely manner. Up on the lift for a couple of days to do the adjustments and get the fluid in it and running right. There was a checklist from the customer as well. We got shocks in all the way around. Shoes and drums were replaced so that she can not only go forward, she can stop too. In order to diagnose the stuck in reverse, when we took the transmission out, there was a little bit of, what are the words I'm looking for, Tully?
The shifter was fucked up.
Yeah, the shifter was fucked up. Once we got the transmission out, we realized that most of it was just in the shifter, which is why the shift kit came in handy. The Hirsch shift kit that we put in, we also were able to pair an original looking Muncie handle for it. That was requested by the customer. He wanted to keep a little bit of originality with the update of the Hirsch shifter. The Hirsch shifter got new linkage so that it shifts smoothly, but then the originality of the Muncie handle gives it that classic look inside. It's a Muncie 4-speed transmission. Muncie M22 4-speed transmission. What kind of transmission is in this Chevy Chevelle?
It's a 4-speed Muncie M22. Also, the slang term is called rock crusher.
What years did this Muncie come in these vehicles?
They usually started in the mid-60s and then went up through the 70s, and then they started changing from there.
What's the rarest thing about these Muncies?
It was only available on a big block engine. So, and it started to get to the time where they were going to more automatics, and because the automatics were faster, but the 4-speeds were fun. And so they took the fun out of it, and they started getting less and less of these transmissions. And they were expensive. They were not a cheap transmission to manufacture because they were aluminum. Later on they went to the cast iron one, and that they use in the Camaros, and they were heavy. So to go with the lightweight stuff, you needed to have the aluminum, and so much for that.
Well, there you go, guys. That is our Muncie expert. This is our transmission builder, our master transmission builder, Ken Tully, who's been working on transmissions for longer than I've been alive. So he is our expert. He knows anything and everything about these cars and these transmissions. We also did an oil change on these cars. Can you tell me about the kind of oil we put in these cars?
We use the Valvoline VR1 because it has zinc in it.
Why is that important?
The older engines needed zinc to protect the camshaft wear and rocker arm wear and so on and so forth. But you want to use the VR1 at least on an older engine. It's got some miles on it, at least a 40 weight. If you got a lot of miles on it, you want to go to the 50 weight. Get some, you can do that. Do not put synthetic in these engines. They hate it.
Do not put synthetic in these engines.
Only on the newer cars, not the old stuff.
This is definitely not a newer car. She's a classic and she's a beauty and she's ready to roll.
Good job.
That was so much better.
So,
You're amazing.
What did you think?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. What did you think? And the shift drivers and the change and everything.
You're gonna think I bought you another car.
I'm loving that.
I want to show you something.
Yeah, I want to see this.
Yeah, first, second, fourth was good.
Oh yeah.
Right? The blocking rings that we originally put in the cars, right, they're really great. The aftermarket stuff is okay. Right? So I replaced those three because they were really worn. Right? Fourth gear, I put yours back in because it was better than this. Right? Now, you're going to have to experience it first. If you look inside here, you'll see that there's none of this stuff. Right? These are more aggressive. All right?
Oh, okay. So, and what do you think about the what's the ownership?
You're gonna love it.
So the Muncie on it?
No. Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
got that.
Oh, you did.
we made it happen.
Oh, yeah.
That is
Drive it normal. For about 500 miles of city driving. All right.
It'll take me about 2 years,
Well, then you
unless I
get-
go back and forth to the gas station in the bar.
Well, when you get it all broke in, then it can go crazy.
Right.
When you get it all broke in, make sure when you bring it back here, I don't try it.
All right.
Turn your fingers white as you're holding on.
And so all the other stuff, you guys were okay? Like, did you check the fluids or
Everything.
everything's good?
We did a front to back inspection on it, everything. Everybody was thrilled to have a turn test driving it.
Awesome.
But
Did you get to?
I went for a ride.
Oh, okay.
I don't drive them.
All right.
I ride in them because I want to enjoy it. I don't want to stress out for a ride. I went for a ride and it is a nice
It's a
car.
really nice, tight car.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah.
For being for being a convertible.
Yeah.
Usually a convertible has a little bit more flex. This one is nice.
Yeah.
You can tell it hasn't been beat on.
No, it really hasn't. I think the guy actually didn't lie to me when because I saw it for 10 years. But I didn't know about the previous 10 years, or more, 20 years. But I actually, that's why I said, when I first got it, I thought, I'm going to flip it. I'll get it fixed up, I'll flip it. Then I started driving and working on it. Now I fell in love with it. Now I got to keep it.
That's
It's
easy
a
to do.
keeper.
It's like my wives, plural, and my cars, you start kind of hanging out with them, and you kind of want to keep them around.
Yeah. I would do it.
So I will tell you, Michelle, one of the things I love about you guys is, when I first came in here, you and Ken both said, you would treat it like it was your vehicle, and you guys have, and I think that is absolutely the best compliment, because when folks have these kind of old cars, you know, it's crazy how many times you take things to people. Nobody pays attention. They don't give the attention to the detail. I don't mind paying, but then the car comes back and it's worse than it was.
Yes.
And it's
That is-
horrible.
We find that happens way too much.
Yeah.
We get the cast offs.
Mhm.
The people that go, I'm not taking it back to them again.
Right, right.
Again. We're like, okay, what did they do? Let's go through it. Let's go through it. It happens way too often.
Yes.
Um,
I'm in, Michelle. Thank you. I sincerely tell you guys thank you for everything.